I believe there's a song that's called You Can Have It All. And they're right. You can have it all. And so many people are searching in one area. They may be very successful in the business world, but they may not be in their personal world. They may be so caught up in their social, personal world that they're not giving enough in the business career world. But you can have it all. What it's called is balance. Some people clock into work and they get their ego hits. They're exceptionally good, and thank you. I want people when they clock in to be exceptionally good. But when they clock out, then they're not doing well because they haven't nurtured that part of them. Years ago, when people started to get highly intelligent, they're realizing that their social skills, their ability to be a team member lacked. So they started looking at resumes to see if they were qualified. But they wanted to know the personality of that person. And a lot of people are lacking in personality. So it's nice to have a developed brain. It's nice to have a very large resume. But can you sit with somebody and have a deep conversation? Can you actually be seen when you're not clocked in? That's what I want to work on. Years ago, as a wedding photographer, I was exceptionally good, and it gave me a lot of importance. And so I loved clocking in as a photographer, and I didn't necessarily like clocking out because then just Diane wasn't really that socially developed. So think about this for a moment. You may be really, really good in one area, but it's like going to the gym and just working out the right side of your body, ignoring the left side. And life is about balance, yin and yang, up and down, light and dark. And your personality, when you start to develop it well, will get you through the doors. So you can sit at a boardroom. You can clock in and put on your photography hat or your manager's hat, and you can excel, and I want you to. But the most important part of you as a human is taking off that hat and liking who you are because you have developed that part of you. Parents, please help your children evolve their personality, create their personality, develop it. And now that you are understanding that you may be lacking in one or the other area, that you as an adult, it is your requirement to search out for the answers, to develop parts of you that you may not have even known were lacking. I work a lot with a lot of high-end people. And years ago, one of my clients, he was a bigwig, whatever that means to people. And he treated his wife and 3 daughters like they were employees. He went home, it was after dinner, he checked in on all of them, just like you would your team that you had to manage. He was busy doing his things on the weekend because he didn't know how to be emotionally present and available. So after working with me, he realized that, yeah, they were employees, they just weren't getting a check from that company. They weren't getting a check from him being a dad. They weren't getting a check from him being a husband. That's why he hid. That's why they were even more so than unhappy. They were denied a human interaction with a man that they actually lived with. So when you think about this, this is quite fascinating. And this could be high overachievers at work. You get home and you're so drained, you don't have much more to give to anybody else, yourself and or to your family, but you wanted the family. It's like buying a high-end car that you can't afford to drive on weekends, but you got it, but you're not enjoying it. This is really not good for the human body, not good for the other people around you. Now, how did I learn how to clock in and stay clocked in? My dad was a workaholic, of course. So, in order for me to get close to my dad, I had to work beside him. Like when I was 15, I had to work beside my dad in manual labor, in construction, in farming, because that's where I would find him. So at 15, I was working like a grown ass man. I had to clock out to who I was, 15-year-old girl, wanting and needing a dad. So I had to pay a very, very hard price. I didn't know that then, and maybe your kids don't know that, but you know it now. So then I, of course, became a workaholic. Your parents are your strongest teachers. You are your strongest teachers to your children. And then my oldest became a workaholic. Yep. And then I realized that my dad never had enough to give me because he depleted himself in the business world, that I didn't have enough to give my daughters. So I sat her down and I helped her find that balance, that the business world is good. It's beautiful, but it's only a percentage of what real life is here for us to experience. So this message is, don't hide at work. I don't care about your trophies. I don't care about how up there you are getting in the business world. I've worked with them all, and they lack character. One gentleman, he came in and he's like, I just want to talk about you. And I'm like, what? He's like, I just want to talk about you. You're fascinating. I said, well, yeah, I actually have a life. And it took him a while to kind of figure out what that meant, because he was making in excess of 3 million, but I had a life. He didn't even know what that was. So can you have it all? Absolutely. Will you give it to yourself? Because that's the first thing. You want to, I know, give it to your significant other, give it to your children, give it to your community, your family and your friends. I get that. But you've got to want to give it to yourself first so that you can give it out to others. And are you enough? Yes, I answered that for you. Are you important? Absolutely. Are you needed in our society? Yes, duh. So take a couple deep breaths. What I want to do is help you peel away this lack of, so that you actually like who you are when you don't have that mentality of being clocked in and important with titles. One of my friends years ago, he'd make about 2 million. And I met him, and money doesn't impress me, never have, never will. It's how you're going to sit down and talk to me and to communicate with others. That tells me you're rich. So he played people. All of his friends were on his quote payroll, so he could use and abuse them however he wanted, and they put up with it because he paid for everything. And it didn't fly well with me at all. And I pushed him back pretty hard, pretty rough, and pretty cold. And he was shocked, literally shocked. And the friend that introduced us, she's like, he flat out adores you. He says, because nobody holds him at accountability like you do. It is fresh. So let me be that person that maybe knocks some sense into you, because you're not here to make puppets out of people. You are everybody's equal. And put your pocketbook away and let's learn how to play. And that's really a lot of what's missing. My dad didn't know how to play. I didn't know how to play. But what would happen, just for a moment, think, what would happen if you learned to relax, unwind, and play in this thing called life? Because to me, that is where the richness is in life. So I'm Diane at Healing Bodies, Healing Souls. I've been doing this for over 35 years. Hypnotically, NLP, life coaching, all of that stuff. You'll actually start to open up your thought patterns and start to see that you live in a completely different universe than what you have experienced up to today. So thank you.